UC San Diego scientists were instrumental in the National Brain Mapping Initiative, and now the state program called CalBrain, short for California Blueprint for Research to Advance Innovations in Neuroscience. Joining me with what this means to local researchers and patients is UC San Diego professor and scientist Ralph Greenspan, director of the Center for Brain Activity Mapping. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Ralph, the CalBrain program will get an initial allocation of $2 million. What are the goals of this program?
Well, the long-term goal is developing new ways of seeing in much greater detail and much faster what is happening overall in the brain. And in the initial year, we are hoping that we can have some pilot projects to show that we can do that.
Now, you helped launch both of these initiatives. What is the connection between CalBrain and the National Brain Initiative?
Well, the personal connection is that the two of us who've been important in both of them were my own role and that of Paul Alivisatos, the director of the Lawrence Berkeley Lab. But in terms of their content, we hope that the California initiative will be able to be more effective in carrying out the goals of the federal one because of how good we are in California at innovating and working together.
Is it because you think we already have the infrastructure here and other places across the nation might have to develop that?
It's more that we have the culture for how to do that kind of thing.
I see. What does mapping the brain actually mean in layman's terms?
Well, it means literally being able to see in real time, broadly, in high detail, what the brain is doing, even in split-second things like when you recognize a face or suddenly remember something, which we now cannot do at that level.
Well, we know where some of that activity takes place in the brain, right? So this would be more about discovering the process?
Yes, the dynamics and all of the subtle interactions that go on among the billions of nerve cells that we have that actually produce these events.
There are, of course, many devastating brain diseases and disorders, including Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, PTSD. How do you envision mapping the brain will impact the way we understand and treat these types of disorders?
For psychiatric disease, it will really be our first glimpse into what is truly going wrong in those diseases and hope to help us design better ways of treating them. For diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, it will give you the first possible hint that something is going wrong so that drugs that are designed to stop the process can start acting as early as possible.
And who else might benefit from the CalBrain program? I guess I'm asking what kind of a return on investment are you anticipating?
Well, there are already companies, such as Qualcomm here in town, who have invested a great deal of money in designing computer architectures and chips that work on the same principles as the brain. The more they know about how the brain does it, the better those will be.
In the world of research, $2 million really isn't a whole lot of money. How will the money be used this year, and what's the outlook for funding in the future?
Well, we're very excited that they did that because it's an indication of their interest in moving ahead on it. And the way it will probably start, and it's only just now being worked out exactly how this will occur, is to seed some pilot projects towards starting to form the teams of scientists and get some preliminary results towards this.
And then, so in seeding those projects, are we going to be coordinating with other hub areas, let's say up in the Bay Area, in California, and with the national project?
We hope so, yes. And the idea is for it to be statewide, and we hope that the teams will be broad enough to include the best people to make the best team.
Where does the National Brain Mapping, the Brain Initiative stand?
They have now started to provide their first funds for people, having had their first call for proposals, and it's too soon to see the results of it yet. And they've also requested, I think, twice as much money for it this next year as they had in the first year. So it's just getting launched.
Well, I hope you will keep us up to date on this. Certainly exciting. Ralph Greenspan, thank you very much.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.